Hello, good morning guys. Welcome to 3D market commentary for Monday morning. No, wait, Thursday morning. It's Thursday morning. Happy Thursday, guys. Hopefully your trading week is going well so far. My name's Becky. If you didn't know already, my email address is there, becky@tradictive.com. It's on its side, but you can read it. So you can email me if you have any questions as to anything I go over. I'm just going to highlight the disclaimers so that we can just get that covered. It should be there. There you go. So, of course, disclaimers on every video that we do. It's important that you guys read them and that you understand them. Essentially, it's just a way of letting you guys know that everything that we go through, whatever video you watch us on, whether it's these market commentary videos or futures, forex options, whatever it is a demonstration of how we do things. We show you how we use the technology, how we use the products, how we use the methodology. It's ultimately up to you to decide whether or not you ignore that entirely, take it on entirely, do something in between where you might take aspects and mold it with something you're already doing. That's ultimately up to you in the end. Okay, so there's a link here, tradewithufos.com/Becky. I'm just going to explain what that does. Now, first of all, the 3D market commentary, which is something that we go through every day, and it's either myself or my colleague Boyan that will do it, comes out just as the US market opens, and we explain 5 of the major markets in the world, going through the technology that we have to help us figure out where we have probabilities in those markets. So every day we send out an email that has that information in a snapshot in an email. So part of the way to get that email is to set up a free membership with Trade with UFOs, and you can do that by using this link. So if you go to tradewithufos.com/Becky, then you'll see this, and then you can set yourself up a free membership here. Just name an email address, click for the next steps, and then you'll be able to get that email every day. So what I'm about to go through, you'll get every day. What you'll also get here is, if you scroll down, you will be able to ask a question in a public space, which means if I scroll down to here, you'll see other people have already asked questions and the answers are already there. My mouse went a little bit weird there, but there you go. The answers are already there, which means if you have a question, perhaps somebody else has already asked it. So rather than send an email or post a question and maybe wait a day or two for a response, instead you'll have the answer here straight away because somebody's already asked it. And then that's true of the future as well. So you might ask a question that somebody else might want to ask in future, and then the answer's already there for them. So the answer's there in public, so everybody can see the answer and the whole community can learn. So I prefer that you ask questions through that link for that reason. Otherwise, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com. Okay, so let's have a look at this 3D market commentary. So this is what we send out every day, our news flash. Obviously, it correlates with the information we have on the charts. So we're going to go through it one by one. Now, firstly, just to explain, 3D approach means we're going through 3 major elements in each of these markets. So the first one, my mouse is being strange, there we go. First one is market climate. Market climate, we get the information from this app here, from this technology here. Now, what AutoClimate is doing is moving through the charts, running through the charts, scanning through them, and coming back and telling us where we have probabilities. So either it will be a thick blue dot, like we have right now, that would tell us we have probability to the upside, meaning that we should be looking to go long. As it says here, we should be market climate, upcoming market direction, long or short. In this case, if it's thick blue, we should be looking to go long. It may be thick red. That tells us we should be looking to go short, probabilities to the downside, confirmed downwards climate. Or it could be a thin dot of either colour. So you might not be able to see them very well, but I guess that's the point. These little thin dots, those thin dots are the AutoClimate app's way of telling us that we have a lack of probability either way. Now, if we have a lack of probability either way, we tend to choose to do nothing. There's no point placing trades and wasting time and money simply for the sake of placing trades. We want to make sure when we place trades that we have probability on our side. So that's why we use the AutoClimate to tell us in which direction we have the probability. So that's the first thing that we look at. Then we're going to look at buy and sell UFOs. So UFO stands for unfilled order. And although it's highlighted on the chart as a little flying saucer type thing, it does stand for unfilled orders. Now, unfilled orders essentially means that in the markets, there are buy orders that are waiting to be filled, and there are sell orders that are waiting to be filled. Buy orders are likely to push price upwards. Sell orders are likely to push price downwards. So we use an app, again, we use an AutoUFO app to scan through the charts, to scan through all of the data and come back and show us where we have likelihood to have big stacks of buy orders or big stacks of sell orders. If we buy, we want to buy when other people are buying. The more buy orders there are, the more likely it is to beat the sell orders and go up. And if we buy, we want price to go up. If we're selling, we want to sell what other people are selling, where there's a loss of other sell orders. If there's a loss of sell orders, it's more likely to push through the buy orders, push price down. And if we sell, we want price to come down. So we use our AutoUFOs to show us objectively on a chart where those orders are likely to be. So we'll go through that per market as well. Volatility. Market volatility helps us with risk or reward because it gives us an idea of how fast we would expect markets to move or how far we would expect them to move within given periods of time. Volatility is not necessarily a good or bad thing, it just is. The more volatile it is, the more risky, but also potentially the more reward. The less volatile it is, perhaps the less risky, but also perhaps lower reward. So it's not right or wrong, whatever that is, but we just let you know what that is so you can get an idea as to what might make more sense to you. Okay, so we go through each of those concepts per market, so let's get started. We are starting on the S&P. So I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit. There we go. So the S&P, the ES. The S&P, just for those of you that might not know what the ES is. So for each of these markets, we're looking at a daily chart and we're looking at a continuous futures contract. Futures contracts are essentially representations of the market that we're going to go through. So in this case, we're looking at the S&P 500 via the S, which means we are looking at a representation of the US stock market, top 500 US stocks. So with the ES, or with the S&P, we can see from our climate, again my mouse is being strange, there you go, from our climate that we have a confirmed upwards climate. We see that because we have a thick blue dot here. That tells us we have probability to the upside, confirmed upwards climate. And we also have this element of stats. Now the stats tell us how long that market usually goes in that direction for, and then how long we've currently been going in that direction for. So what we see here is that usually this market would go up for 8.84 candles. I'm going to round that up to 9. By the way, whatever the decimal place is on any of these, I'm just going to round it up, even if it's 0.1. So it normally goes up for 9 candles. And we are on candle number 7. That tells us that compared to what normally happens, we still have a little bit of room to the upside. We still have a little bit of movement that could happen to the upside. That's not to say that definitely will happen. Of course, we sometimes fall short of what is normal. Of course, sometimes we go past what is normal. It just gives us an average, again, so we can work out whether we have probabilities of something continuing in that direction or whether it's more likely to change direction. In this case, it's more likely to continue in that direction. So again, that helps us out. So that's our climate. Now, when it comes to buy and sell UFOs, we actually have no sell UFOs on this chart. So that's why this is blank. We're at pretty much almost all-time highs. We have no sell information above us, so the AutoUFO app cannot find sell orders if they're not there. So no sell orders at the moment. When it comes to buy UFOs, that's this one here, which is that one there. The numbers for that are 3878.75 to 3796.25. That's the range of price sort of level in the market where we see that we have buy orders. And again, buy orders are likely to push price up, so we want to know where they are. Okay, so that's buy and sell UFOs. So overall with the climate, probability to the upside, probability for a continuous move, at least for a little bit longer, and buy UFOs below us. So overall with the S&P, probability there to the upside. Now again, notice I'm saying probability, not guarantee. Of course, we need to continue to manage our risk. We may be wrong. New orders can come to the markets. We know in life unexpected things can happen. But as far as probabilities and statistics would tell us, we have probability to the upside. So when it comes to market volatility for the S&P, we can see that we would expect movement up or down in one day of 49.45 points, up or down. In 1 week, we would expect movement up or down of 108.87 points. And in a month, we'd expect movement up or down of 226.63 points. Now, again, that gives us an idea of what we would expect up or down within these given periods of time. It's not to say it's going to exactly happen that way, but again, gives us an idea of where we're likely to see movement or how quickly we're likely to see movement. And then we can use our climate and UFOs to tell us in which direction that's more likely to happen. So again, overall for the S&P at the moment, more likely to happen to the upside. So that's the S&P. So let's move on to the next market here. So can we go through 5 markets? In the meantime, just to say, you might be somebody that's watching this that has maybe never traded before and you want to understand what are futures, what is Forex, how do stocks work. You can take courses like that with us. You might be somebody that is trading already and you want to learn a different market, or maybe you want to learn how to build a trading plan for whatever market you trade, or how to back test that plan, how to manage your psychology. Again, we do courses in those things. You can check those out. To be honest, you can go to the website or you can click on that link there. Now, the AutoUFOs and AutoClimate come as 3-month complimentary access with most of these classes, so you can check those out as well. All of the classes where we use them in the classes is where you'll get access to them. So the AutoClimate by itself is normally a free app. AutoUFOs is paid for. I'll explain that in a minute, but they come for free as part of most of the classes. Okay, so let's have a look at oil. That will be the next market that we look at. So again, we're looking at a futures contract on a daily chart that represents oil. Again, just to say, different things happen on different time frames, right? So we're looking at a daily chart. If you use much smaller time frames or much bigger time frames, things might be different. But what we're looking through is looking on a daily chart, so kind of mid-day time frames. Okay, so when it comes to crude oil with the climate, we have a confirmed upwards climate. We see that here, and we see that we have a thick blue dot. So that's what we expect, a confirmed upwards climate. Probability to the upside. Now, what we also see, remember I said before, sometimes of course we will go past what is normal, sometimes we fall short of what is normal. In this case, this market would usually go up for 7 candles, again just rounding that up, and we are now on candle number 11, which means we have gone past what is usual in terms of a move to the upside, which means it's more likely to change direction than it is to continue going up. Again, it's better to say it's definitely going to change direction, but that we have a higher likelihood that it will change direction because it's already gone past what usually happens. So bear that in mind. Yes, we have probability to the upside, but not necessarily probability for a continuation to the upside. Now, buy and sell UFOs. We have sell UFOs above us. So numbers for that's this one here, is 69.90 to 68.46. That's where we have a range of price where we have sell orders. Buy orders is this one here and this one here. Numbers for that are 57.29 to 54.81. Again, that's the range of price where we have buy orders. At the moment, kind of in the middle between the two, nothing really close enough today, I would say, to cause any impact. New orders can, of course, come into the market, but as far as what we have on the chart already, nothing that's likely to cause much today. Now, when it comes to market volatility, that's kind of why I say nothing likely to cause much today, because in one day, we would normally expect movement up or down of 1.52 points. And these UFOs are a good 5 points away, right, at least. In a week, we would expect movement up or down of 3.34 points. And in 1 month, we would expect movement up or down of 6.96 points. So again, that's what we expect up or down within these given periods of time, and then we use our climate and UFOs to help figure out in which direction that's more likely to happen. In the case of crude oil, we have a confirmed upwards climate, so probability to the upside, but unlikely that it continues. So I would say kind of undecided really overall with crude oil. Okay, moving on to the next market, which will be gold. Again, in the meantime, just to say, the AutoUFOs, you can click and subscribe to the AutoUFOs there. Already said before that the AutoClimate app is free. So once you have your free membership, you can download the AutoClimate app for free, which will help you figure out in which direction you have the most probabilities, up or down or nowhere. And that's what we see with the AutoClimate. AutoUFOs, which is highlighting for us more specifically where we would buy or sell, that's a paid-for app. Depending on which platform you use, depends on how much it costs. When it comes to TradingView, which is the one that I'm using right now, it's $34 per month, or you can get yearly discounts as well. And again, they come for free as part of the classes that we offer. Part of most of the classes that we offer. Okay, so gold. Let's have a look at gold. Market climate. Yes, it's an upwards climate, but it is unconfirmed. We see that there, confirmed no, because we have a thin blue dot. Now, it doesn't matter that the colour is blue, really. It wouldn't matter if it was red either. If it's a thin dot, it's unconfirmed, meaning not enough probabilities. If there's not enough probabilities, we want to keep away. It's not even worth looking at. So we just move on to the next market. Now, not to say that there aren't other opportunities on bigger or smaller timeframes with gold, but as far as the daily chart goes, we don't have probabilities either way. Now, usually this market would go up for 7 candles. Again, just rounding that up. We're on candle number 3. So if it does confirm itself to the upside, we would have probability of a continuous move up. But for the time being, again, nothing confirmed. So when it comes to buy and sell UFOs, let's have a look at this. We're kind of in the middle of them. We can see that we have sell UFOs just here above us. Numbers for that are 1815.2 to 1718.2. And then we have some buy orders below us. So again, that's those here and those here. Mouse being weird again. There we go. 1652.8 to 1624.4. That's where we have a range of price where we have buy orders. At the moment, again, in the middle of the two, unlikely to hit either of them today, and sort of unconfirmed on climate. So nothing really with gold to help us out in terms of which direction. And again, that's fine. We need to be okay that sometimes there's not going to be probabilities. We don't want to place trades where we don't have probabilities. So we just move on and look at another market. Especially in the world of futures, there are hundreds of markets you could look at. In Forex, there are loads that you can look at. There are thousands of stocks to trade. So it's fine if one market that you look at doesn't have probability, just move on to another one. So when it comes to volatility, we expect movement up or down in one day of 18.82 points. In 1 week, we expect movement up or down of 41.43 points. And in 1 month, we expect movement up or down of 86.24 points. So that is gold. Let's now move on to the next market. Now, in the meantime, just to say, you may be somebody that is watching this thinking, I don't really want to take a class, or maybe you already have taken classes, or maybe you're using the apps, or you're not sure about using the apps. But either way, what you want to do is watch somebody run through this methodology, start to finish, using these apps, using this technology, explaining what they're doing whilst they're doing it, so that you can watch trades happen in real time, and then decide what you do with it. So if you want to join us like that in our coaching community, you can sign up for the All Asset Advanced Coaching. It's $21 per month, or again, you can have yearly discounts. You can also join us on YouTube for free for a lot of coaching. The difference is that within the closed coaching, you have more of our time. We cut off somewhere halfway in between on YouTube for free, and then we continue in the closed room. So again, you can join us for free on YouTube, or you can join us in the coaching rooms for $21 a month, or with yearly discounts. Okay, moving on to the next market. Now, in my opinion, or probably objectively, the dollar, which is the market that we're going to look at now, is the most influential of all of the 5 that we go through, because it's probably the most influential market in the world. With the US dollar, it normally is responsible for 80% of transactions worldwide every single day. So important to understand what the dollar is doing, even if you don't trade it, even if you don't trade US stocks, or you don't trade the dollar versus something else in Forex. Still important to understand what the dollar is doing. It's correlated to these other markets. The dollar shoots up, others might shoot, depending on the correlation, so be aware of it. Now, when it comes to market climate, we have an unconfirmed downwards climate. We see that because we have a thin red dot. So again, unconfirmed, lack of probabilities, we'd keep away. Now, when it comes to stats, usually the market would come down, or the dollar would come down for 6 candles, and we are on candle number 1, which means if it was to confirm itself to the downside, we do have room for a continuous move down, but it's unconfirmed in the first place, so we'd want to keep away from that. Now, when it comes to buy and sell UFOs, we actually just hit this buy UFO already. Numbers for that are 91.405 to 90.635. You can see we already came down, hit the buy UFO, went up, came down, hit the buy UFO, and on our way back up again. That's what we expect buy UFOs to do, is push price upward, that it's already done that twice. Now, that's not to say that it won't do it again, but we have a kind of downwards climate, unconfirmed, hit a buy UFO. So we've kind of got 2 different forces here. We've got an unconfirmed climate or an undecided climate coming with hit and buy orders that have already been hit a few times, which means that we have kind of weak to the downside and a week to the upside, which means overall nothing really to do when it comes to the dollar. When it comes to sell UFOs, we have this one here, which is 94.330 to 93.245. Now, when it comes to volatility, we would expect movement up or down in one day of 0.38 points. In 1 week, we would expect movement up or down of 0.83 points. And in 1 month, we would expect movement up or down of 1.73 points. So that's the dollar. Let's move on to the next market, or the last market, which is Bitcoin. Now, in the meantime, it says there in the middle about watching us on the YouTube channel. As I said, we do a lot of sessions for free on YouTube, which you can join us on. If you just go on YouTube and search Trade with UFOs, or you can, if you get this email through every day, you can just click it there and it will take you through to our YouTube channel. We do sessions on loads of things: psychology, sharpening, where we go through methodology, stocks, futures, forex, options, different things like that. So you can join us on YouTube if you'd like. Okay, so I'm just going to squish this down so we see what we need to see here with Bitcoin. Now, with Bitcoin, we have a confirmed upwards climate. We see that here because we have a thick blue dots. That tells us probability to the upside, confirmed upwards climate. Now, we do not have stats for Bitcoin because it's just not old enough. It's not been going on long enough for us to be able to say what normally happens in this market. So we do know that we're on the 9th candle to the upside. We just don't know whether that's normal or not. So bear that in mind with Bitcoin. We're kind of going in blind a little bit there as to where the probabilities lie in terms of how long we expect these movements. But overall, we have a confirmed probability to the upside with Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to buy and sell UFOs, no sell orders. Again, we've got no, barely any price above us, which means no sell orders above us. We have buy orders here, and that's 52,600 exactly to 49,602.5. That's where we have our closest stack of buy orders on this time frame. Now, when it comes to volatility, with Bitcoin, it's more volatile than the rest by quite a bit. We would expect a movement up or down in one day of 4,526.71. In 1 week, we'd expect movement up or down of 9,965.10. And in 1 month, we'd expect movement up or down of 20,744.01. So if you look at these numbers compared to what the current price is, they're reasonably high. Probably no surprise to those of you that might follow cryptos. They are more volatile than their sort of more established counterparts. Again, not good or bad. Volatility will just either make it move quickly or not as quickly, depending on what it is. In this case, this market will move quicker than others, so just be aware of that. This brings me on to this last point for today, which is our weekly economic calendar. So the weekly economic calendar, we have a look at FX Street's economic calendar, and we filter by high impact news on many different markets. Now, we just want to know that there would be high impact news so that we know if there's likely to be volatility. We don't use the news to help us figure out whether we buy or sell. We use the technology to help us be objective on that and buy and sell where we have objective probabilities to the upside or downside. But it's helpful to understand if we are going to have high impact news coming in on various markets that we trade, because it may cause volatility. And again, if there's volatile or bad, but it's up to you as a trader to decide what you want to do about that. Do you want to avoid markets that are likely to be volatile? Do you want to get in markets that are likely to be volatile? Do you want to manage your risk differently depending on the volatility? Again, that's up to you, but be aware that the high impact news can cause volatility. Okay, so one last point to make, which is if you're watching this and you're thinking, I don't really understand what she's talking about, or that sounds interesting, but I'm not too sure, or I think I want to take a course in Forex, but maybe futures would be better, or I already use AutoClimate, but I don't know if AutoUFOs are going to help me. Whatever it is, if you have any questions like that, you can self-schedule a clarification call and talk with one of our experts and talk through your options and talk through what might work better for you. Even if that means not trading at all. Sometimes we come to that conclusion with people that we speak to. Otherwise, we'll just help you figure out which technology would help you, which elements of the education would help you, and then go from there. So that is me done. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'll be back tomorrow morning for the 3D market commentary for tomorrow, the overview for tomorrow. Any questions, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com, or go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. Set yourself up with a free membership here, and then you can ask a question publicly so other people can see the answer, and we can all learn together in the community. Otherwise, guys, I hope you have a great day trading. I'll be back tomorrow. Have fun, be safe, and I will see you in the morning. Take care. Bye-bye.